For quite a few days, you needed some books, and today you bought. Now you were going towards the car, with books taken from the bookstore. Hey there, listen to me. You were on way towards the car when an aunt called out to you, beckoning you over to her side. What's your name? Is your mother's name Jenny? After hearing your mother's name, you looked towards her in surprise. She didn't appear to be an ordinary woman. She seemed quite wealthy as the way she was dressed. You thought for a moment and then asked her, "Who are you and how do you know my mom?" "I'm a friend of your mother's." "What's happened, Mom? You okay?" You looked in this direction. He was an incredibly handsome and dashing guy with a masculine demeanor on his face. Before their conversation could be completed, her son arrived there. Avoiding his mother's gaze, he asked, and his gaze was fixed on you. "Darling, can you give me your number or address? Want to talk to you." Without answering her son, she asked you instead. "I need to meet this girl, JK. Find out her address somehow. Where does she live?" Auntie held on to JK's arm and said anxiously, "It's okay, Mom. Don't worry. I'll go bring that girl to you myself." Looking at the departing car, JK said with a gaze fixed on it, "You didn't have dinner. You didn't come out of the room after returning home in the evening, and your stepmother and father didn't care about you anyway. You had a severe headache, so you went to the kitchen to make coffee. What are you doing in the kitchen right now?" You were picking up the coffee mug. Suddenly, you got scared by the voice of your stepmother, and a few drops splattered on your hand from the coffee mug. Ah! You grabbed your hand and sat down. "Come on, now you have burned your hand too. You don't know how to do anything properly." Instead of showing empathy, she started lecturing you. "Don't start crying now. Quickly clean up the kitchen and go to your room." With heartlessness in her words, you were trying to prevent your tears from following out by rubbing your eyes. You didn't mean to appear weak in front of her. "You should go. I'll clean up everything." Her words were hurting you more than the burn. "Yes, you'll clean up. Of course, your mother won't come to clean. Will she? She left you by causing me trouble." Your mother's name was a constant reminder in every conversation. It was her way of occupying your mind. She knew you were affected by mentioning her name. Even now, the same thing happened. The mention of your mother's name enraged you, and you left the kitchen in protest and went to your room. Behind you, your stepmother's mocking laughter echoed all the way to your room. You were very young when your mother divorced your father. Your father didn't take custody of you, but he couldn't take care of you alone either, so he kept you with a maid and looked after you in every possible way. You grew very close to her. Seeing this, your father remarried after some time, and then your stepmother shoved her through closer. She did something, you don't know what kind of magic, that he slowly became completely indifferent to you. He only saw and heard what your stepmother told him, and now for several days she had been against you above your education. She wanted to stop your studies and get you married. Your father blindly followed her. I wish Mom had killed me before she left. Your heart was so heavy that you had forgotten the burning sensation in your hand. At the sound of knocking on the door, your eyes opened. "Wine, are you still sleeping? Your mother is not feeling well. You have no concern with anyone. As you opened the door, your father started speaking. What happened to her? Last night, your father began speaking before you could finish your sentence. Yes, last night you behaved very rudely with your mother. She cried all night. But I didn't behave rudely, Dad. But he didn't want to listen to your words. He shoved his man and stopped you. I don't need any explanation from you. That's why you are becoming more and more arrogant every day. Now go to the kitchen and make breakfast for me and your mother. He turned back from the room's doorway after seeing his wife. Here you heard that was filled with joy at first, thinking that he had come to ask about your well-being. How could I forget that he is not my father, but just my stepmother's husband? You wiped away the tears from your eyes again with your hands. There should be a reason to let these tears follow. You looked at your burned hand. Tiny bubbles of water had formed on it. You let out a sigh and headed towards the kitchen. You had gotten late from college that day, and when you reached home, your stepmother's friend had come over. Literally, he had been visiting quite often. As soon as he arrived, you would look yourself in your room because you didn't like him at all. His way of looking at you was not all pleasant. His gaze was very creepy and disgusting.